That's right. Your girl right here, Alina 7, coming to you from WLVS station right here. Listen Vision Live right across the street from my home. You know, Howard University is my home. Grew up down the street. Yes, when my sisters first moved here, had a place down there at 6th and O Street. So I grew up around O Street Market, which was hellified crazy back then.
Yes, it was.
Right? It was crazy. But I am so excited about my guest, as you can see to my right, because he is the man. If you want your kid in the NBA, then you definitely want to see this guy right here. But before I get to Coach Keith Williams, before I get to him, I just want to share some things real quick with you that happened to me this week regarding my foot, but also something about that I heard Jay-Z say as well. And everything revolves around the hustle, as you know. And the hustle is all about finding your passion, finding your love, and not letting anybody or anything get in your way about pursuing your dreams. Obviously, that's really the heart of the hustle. But also, you know, you never can tell when life throws you, you know, a curveball, and you gotta make lemonade from lemons. You know, I used to be around the house and my kids would be like, "Ma, we heard enough of the lemon to lemonade story." But still, I feel like there's so much about it. And I would go, no, you gotta hear my story. But so I just want to say that this week I found out that my toe had a significant injury and worse than what we originally thought. And I really have a compound fracture to my toe, which means that when you get a compound fracture, it's one of the worst breaks that you can get. It's when your bones break, they break into each other like that, and they protrude into the skin. So it's a really significant break, and it's also a break that we're quite familiar with if you've been paying attention to the Alex Smith. He has a compound break of his shin and his fibula. So that's quite also what happened. And what they have to do is really put a lot of compression, and then they put some pins, and they have to fuse the bone and keep it together like that. So we're praying that I don't have to do all that, but I do have to have compression right now. If not, then they will have to perform surgery on me. So everybody just pray for me that I can get my foot better, and that I will be able to keep on keeping on with my hustle. But there's something else that I wanted to talk with everybody about. So that didn't get me down, because, you know, it's all about the hustle, and it's all about finding your love. This is my passion. This is my love. I was still looking forward to doing everything I needed to do the week, even though I got told that. And even though I have this big old boot on, excuse me, big old boot on I feel like I'm walking around with an elephant foot. But let me just say, Jay-Z, I saw this on Instagram today. Jay-Z said, I could have listened to everyone. I could have just, because I was selling my music to record stores for $100, and sometimes even less or more than that. And he said, because of that hustle, it made his opportunity even sweeter, and he appreciated his opportunity. He just took building his success step by step. And he said there were times when he would say, maybe they are right. Maybe I don't have what it takes. Maybe my music is not, you know, it's not saying what I need for it to be saying. Maybe I just don't have it. And so, or maybe I should believe that these people are right and I'm wrong, and I shouldn't believe in my rap. And he said, but something inside of me said, no, they're not right, and that I should continue on, because trust me, he said, had I listened to them, it would have been very easy, and I could have had a less stressful life, and I could have stopped the suffering that went on to pursue his goals. And he said, I kept with it. And just remember that no one gives you anything in life. So I just wanted to say that that really is the heart of the matter of my show, is that no one gives you anything in life. It's all about your love, your passion. Go after your hustle. And just remember that no one's going to give you anything. So you got to go out there and get it for yourself. And if there's anybody that can be a walking testimony to no one gives you anything, and it takes hustle and effort and go get it, it's this man to my right. So I felt how important it is to share my message today with you in preparation to introduce my next guest, because he is someone that has taken more guys to the NBA, okay? And he has been he has been a trainer for them, and he's also positioned guys so that they could get in the NBA. And I mean, he's just done so much stuff to get some of the top names that people you may talk about every day. Kevin Durant, hello. Markelle Fultz, he was the #1 recruit last year. This guy knows what he's talking about. So I want to introduce him, and then I want him to give us a breakdown to who he is and what he's done and all of that stuff, because I can only give you one synopsis of how I see him, but he could share so much more about who he is and what he's done for these guys, far better than me. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you, yes, to my guest today, Coach Keith Williams. And I'm just so excited to have him on my show. I was excited like several weeks ago because I've been telling my sister, get me his number. And she's been like, I'm working on it. Wait a minute, I got to talk to him first. I don't know what took her so long, but anyway. And my nephew has sung your praises, so I am really excited, Keith, to have you here on my show, The Hustle, and just to share with everybody. Just tell them real quick, like, what your story is, where you come from, and what your struggle has been, and then we'll get into all the other stuff that I know people want to hear about, okay?
Well, thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
And my story really is that I'm a lover of basketball, a true lover of basketball. And, you know, I had my day.
Which was?
1990, I tried out for the New Jersey Nets, and I made it to the vet camp and got released. And I was trying to really figure out what am I supposed to do with myself now, because I pretty much thought I was going to be a basketball player.
Right.
And I kind of got tricked into the business by Troy Weaver, who's a local guy who's now assistant GM with Oklahoma City Thunder.
Okay.
And he would have guys, he was with Utah Jazz at the time. He would have guys, he's like, Keith, you know, work out with him, play him one-on-one, show him how you do what you do. And one of those guys was Moochie Norris at the time.
Okay.
And it kind of grew from there. I really didn't know the business or what to charge, but I started working out at Bowie State, and I didn't know what to charge, but I had a lot of guys. And you know the story. I brought a green bag to the gym, and I wanted the guys to kind of pay me what they thought I was worth. And initially, it wasn't a good idea because the first day I had like $90 in the bag, and I had like 4 pros. But 2 weeks later, I had like $670 in the bag for 2 hours of work. And
what?
So now I realized I was on the right path, so I just had to organize my way through the business.
Wow. Okay, so what's in the bag now? No, I'm just playing.
Good amount.
A good amount. Okay. So fast forward. We know that, you evidently had played and you obviously tried out or whatever, and things just didn't work out. So then you start training. Is there somewhere along the line that you feel, you know what, I am a little bit different. Maybe I do have a little bit something to offer. Or do you think you just got lucky? No.
Well, it wasn't a market for training at the time. It was myself and another gentleman that was doing it, and that was pretty much it. And I realized that I had a way with kids, not so much the basketball, but they trusted me as an individual. And I think that's what helped me get the most out of each kid.
Okay.
And so once I got to a point where I got Steve Francis, that was my first true big name.
Oh, that was your
individual.
First big name. Okay.
Now, I had guys my age like Gerard Mustaf and Tony Massenberg.
Yes.
But some other
Tony
people.
Massenberg,
yeah, so,
really? Okay.
So I had those guys, but they weren't big names, so you don't think you got it yet.
Right.
But a good friend of mine, Jason Muscari, shout out to him, and Society Lounge. He owns Society Lounge.
He owns Society. Okay. Yep.
He was the person that put myself and Steve and his agent together. And that's kind of how I took off in the business in terms of having the higher level talents.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Wonderful. Okay. So, fast forward now. Take me to where do you take me to the whole Kevin Durant story?
Well, Kevin played on our AAU program, DC Blue Devils.
Okay. You right. Okay.
So I was always the trainer for the top kids of the Blue Devils.
Okay.
Me and Rob Jackson, who's the founder, and I would later run the Blue Devils years later. But he put me with Kevin and Taiwan Lawson, and so I used to train them.
Oh, okay. But you would have started. So, what age would they have started with you?
Like 15,
15.
16. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you've been knowing Kevin Durant since he was 15 or younger? About that?
Yeah.
About
15,
since
yeah.
he was 15. Okay. Go ahead.
And so at the time, Taiwan was our top talent. He was the kid that did all the scoring. He was the one that was ranked. Kevin was unranked. Nobody really knew a lot about Kevin.
Right.
And I believed that Kevin could be special, but he was really skinny.
Okay.
And, you know, a little bit timid at the time. But
Right.
as time progressed, he grew and, you know, he got to a point where he had a really good jump shot and he had a good rhythm with the dribble. And as a program, we allowed him to play out on the perimeter as opposed to most people would put a 6'8" kid, 6'9" kid in the post.
In the post, right.
But he was so slim, so we
He
had
would
to
get-
allow him, right. You would never know who he was if we did that. So we allowed him to kind of move out to the perimeter, and the rest is pretty much history.
What? Wow. But this would be before maybe the 3-point shot was that popular, right?
It wasn't that popular, but it was still a true skill for a kid that big to be to shoot it that efficiently.
Oh, okay. So let's just talk about that. Okay. So what would you say the efficiency of his 3-point shot was at, say, 15, 16?
Pretty high. I mean, I would say
Really?
numbers-wise,
So
at least 40%.
At least 40%.
At least.
Whoa, wow. Really?
Yeah, he's always
He's
had
always
great
been a
touch.
sharpshooter.
Yes. With that type of length, that's an unstoppable situation.
Wow. Oh, my God. So you noticed that right off the bat.
Yes.
Nobody else could do that.
Nobody. There was nobody around that did that.
That could do that. Okay. Did he practice that?
Yeah. I think it was something he learned even from his earlier mentors like Stink, a guy that was at his rec center. They had him shooting the ball a lot. I think that's what he was confident at. And I think the reason why he didn't take off is because people wanted to see him be in the post.
Be aggressive, because back then it was a much more physical game, right?
But he
Someone his
wasn't.
size
Correct.
had to be more physical.
Right, so he was a finesse player.
Right.
And once he was allowed to play on the perimeter, he blossomed. So he went from unranked to ranked to ultimately being number 2 recruit in the country coming out of high school.
What? So you guys saw that as special and said, that's what
We're going to use that.
We're going to use that. We're going to go with that. And that's going to make him rise to the top. You knew
Correct.
that.
Correct.
Wow. Okay. So do you think that it is important for, and I may go back and forth
No
at different
worries.
parts in your life, okay?
Okay.
So I may go to the NBA, then we go back to
Okay.
training, okay? But do you think it is important for big guys? I know that it's a popular thing for big guys to shoot the 3.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, now it's like, what? You don't shoot threes?
Right.
You're 6'11", huh? But do you think it is still important for them to develop that, or do you think it's more important for them to work on their strength as a player or their shooting ability?
Well, the game as a whole is all about shooting. That's the number one skill that at every level everybody wants to see. And the taller guys, they want them to be able to space the floor. So it opens up a situation where smaller guys can penetrate without anybody being able to help. So I would say that, yes, anybody that plays the game should work on their shot.
Should work on their shot.
Yes.
I don't care what size you are.
No matter what, because it's going to be a spot for a shooter at every level. If you can really shoot, you'll be on the floor. It doesn't even matter if you can't cover anyone.
Really?
As
Okay.
long as you can shoot, because the game has become a mathematics test. Look, you
Like
take,
Matrix.
you take James Harden.
Right.
The idea is for him to make 5 threes, shoot 12 free throws, and get 10 assists. And if you put those numbers on with anybody, they're dominating the game.
Yeah,
Because
that's
you
so
got, you
true.
understand, 5 threes, that's 15 points.
Right.
12 free throws, that's 27 points right there. And then
Wow.
you do 10 assists.
Wow.
That means you was responsible
You're
for
20%
yeah,
of
of everything.
basically of
Yeah.
the entire
Yeah.
100 points right
That's
there.
right. So that's how the game's set up. You know, it takes less threes to equal two twos or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how the game is set up. So, and analytics people run the NBA. That's fact.
Wow, that's a fact. Yeah, that's so true. Okay, so you just take me through this. I'm a mom. I have a kid who I think is special, okay? Who can play, who wants to play, okay? And who looks like they're going to be, a giant. What should I do?
Play
And
hard.
who can play? Who can just let's assume that they're, 8, 9, but they have shooting ability and they can play a bit.
The
Take
two
me
thi-
through a blueprint.
So the two things nowadays, because most kids don't play hard, is one, your kid plays extremely hard. That's a bonus. That's a skill even now. And then if they are an excellent shooter for their position, for their size, it's very easy to make it. Like today, the game of basketball and the fact we have social media is so small, and if you fit a certain metric, if your arms are +4 of your height, if your hands are a certain length, and you look a certain way on the court, you're a prospect, just like that. It's just that simple. Why do you think the overseas guys come over and fare well? Because the game is becoming more of a overseas game. It's not as physical as when you and I came up.
Right.
They don't want you to touch anybody.
Yeah.
They scoring more points. There are more possessions, and you got to have more guys that can play that style. And now you got stretch fives. One of my guys, Boogie Cousins, Golden State uses him as a stretch five. He stands in the corner and space the floor so that Kevin Durant and Steph can, dribble the ball and do what they want to do. And if they get stuck, they throw it out to him, he shoots it. In our day, the 5 men was always parked close to the rim.
Close to the rim. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's go back to Boogie Cousins. When did
Okay.
you meet him? How did you develop him?
I met him, he was 10th grade, a friend of mine out of New York. Found out I wanted to do more in the business. He was like, look, I got a kid for you, but they send the kids crazy. I'm like, man, I ain't scared of no kid. So he was like,
Wait, he was in 10th grade. Your friend calls you.
he was like, I got a kid for you if you want to do more in the business, but the kid's crazy. I'm saying,
The
who's
kid
the kid?
is crazy.
Right. I said, who's the kid? He says, DeMarcus Cousins. I'm like, oh, man, I love him. And so, fate would have it that the Blue Devils were playing DeMarcus in Tennessee
In Tennessee.
that
Oh,
next
wow.
weekend, right?
What?
So while we're playing them,
Right. And he would be about what, 14, 15? 15.
So
Okay.
while we're playing them, I met his mom, I'm sitting there talking to his mom, and he's running up and down the court killing us, but giving me the evil eye the whole time.
Giving you the evil eye.
Because he doesn't know.
He
doesn't
don't
who
know.
I
He
am.
think you talking
Yeah,
to his mother.
mama. That's right. And
Okay.
so, it took some time. A
Right.
kid from Alabama, his dad not there, probably not trusting men that much. But over time, we had a situation where his mom got sick,
Okay.
and I didn't know what to do. But I know people in the South, if nothing else, they got food in their refrigerator. I wired him some money to make sure that at least the grocery in the house, and I forgot all about it. And his mom later came back like, you did it. I was like, did what? She was like, you did it. I was like, what you talking about, Monique? She's like, you sent that money, you got that food. I was like, oh, that's the best I could do. And from then on, me and him built a much closer, a better relationship. And we come to be really close. And he's taught me probably more than anybody about the business because he was ridiculed all the time. People thought he was a bad kid. He's one of the best kids. People thought he was going to get in trouble, get locked up. And he's a kid that just hates to lose, like all of them. They all hate to lose. And so happened he had to endure a lot of losing his early part of his career. But he's if he loves you, he loves you, and he's gonna stick by you. And like I said, I learned a lot dealing with him in this whole
incredible.
situation. Yep.
Really? That's incredible. So you basically sent him money and you didn't really know what the need was at that time. Or you had an idea.
Yeah, I couldn't get there from here. I
Right.
figured this was the best thing because his mom set up her work schedule so she could work all weekend. She was a nurse,
Okay.
so that she could be with her kids all week.
During the week.
Right.
Okay.
And so she had been in the hospital. I figured I got to do something,
Right.
and I thought that was the best thing. that I could
Wow. And how many did he have? Like lots of brothers and
do. Yeah,
sisters?
he had 5 other siblings. Yeah.
He had 5, and he's what, the oldest of
He's
them?
the
or-
second. His
He's
sister
the
is
second.
the oldest. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. So basically, he was at home taking care of maybe the younger kids, right?
For sure.
And she was in the hospital. She
Mm-hmm.
couldn't get home, and he got some money, and he was able to feed his family.
Yep. And I wasn't doing it at the time.
That
I
is-
wasn't doing it
woo!
at the time to get any points. It was just I liked the kid.
Yes.
I had come down there to see that they lived in a really small house, and everybody's big, family is big, and they had a 1-bedroom house.
Wow.
And so
Oh my goodness.
So his mom's 6'3".
His mother is 6'3".
Yep. So his brother 6'8". He was 6'8".
They're all living in a 1-bedroom house.
Yeah,
All those giants.
Right. So, but it was love, you know. You know how it is
Yeah.
as a kid.
Hey,
you
sometimes
don't really
that's-
know. You don't really
you
know.
don't know.
You don't really know what you don't have because
What-
the other kids are like this
Right.
in Alabama, Birmingham as well. So I built a great relationship. He's been helpful even after me and him initially met. To
Yeah.
kind of show me like, you know, how the business is.
But you know what? I like Boogie Cousins. Plus,
Nah,
I like when he comes to the Wizards because he always, in the locker room joking with John Wall.
Well, he wanted to come
So-
here, but that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story.
Oh, he did?
He did. We were here. Remember, pre-draft, he's working out with me. So when they got the number pick, we wanted to at least him work out for them.
Right.
Wouldn't cost him any money. He's
Right.
staying with me.
He's staying with you.
But, they had their eyes set on John, and John was the easy pick at the time. But I think if they look back now and you look at both of their careers, you probably should have took Boogie, number one, because good guards come every year, but the Boogie Cousin doesn't come every year.
They don't come every year. Guys that tall, that big,
That
that can
talented.
shoot 3, that can defend. That's the other thing. We got to talk about defense. We're talking about offense right now.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, my goodness. I mean, that's just incredible. But why didn't we end up getting him? Good grief.
Well, they wanted John. He was a safe pick. He didn't have the baggage, if you will, that Boogie had.
Yeah, that Boogie had at that time. Wow. Oh, my goodness. That's incredible. Wow. Why don't we play defense, though, anymore? What is up with the NBA? I mean, where are we? We're like 139 points, 140.
I mean, the reality of an NBA game, and I hope I don't offend any NBA fans, is that when you watch the game, the first quarter through the first through the third, it's pretty much entertainment. And the fourth quarter is when the game really begins. Because the game's really, really long. And I think the powers that be that run the NBA feel like more people will pay to see dunking and shooting threes. So they've changed the rules where you can't impede anybody's progress.
Right.
You can't put
You can't
hands
get in
on
front of
anybody.
them. You can't touch them.
So
Yeah.
and they sped up the game so it's allowed for more scoring, and more points, and more fans, if you will.
Really? Yeah. Well, I mean, it's true. They do that. But still, we got to defend the 3. How
Well,
would
it's
you,
tough. It's tough.
How do you? I mean, I hear a lot of people saying that a lot about the Wizards. Oh, the Wizards don't do this. They don't do this. They don't defend this. They don't defend that. How do you defend the 3? And then we can get into Golden State because we didn't talk about Golden State. But how do you defend the 3?
Well, it's tough because, again,
Because you can't.
the referees
if you
are
get
calling.
right there next to them.
They're calling.
They're gonna call 3.
They're
3.
calling phantom calls. But
Phantom calls.
phantom calls.
Really?
They are.
They are.
But
I think so.
it's predicated on making offensive players better. That's why.
More
Having time-
accurate.
Well, they feel more comfortable shooting knowing that person probably won't hit me because they're afraid to
They're
hit
afraid.
me and I make the 3.
Right,
So a lot of
exactly.
times they
Because
allow the
if you
3.
step in, if you even step and they come down, they touch, even if they even feel like they're going to touch your foot, they're going to come down and fall
They're gonna
out.
flop.
They're
They're
going
gonna
to flop.
Yep.
And I see that all the time at the game, and I'm like,
Well, remember, if you
They're
ever
gonna
watch the
call
game,
Bradley Beal comes down the minute on you and will flop down, and then he'll go to the line and shoot three.
that's right. Well, if you ever look at the bottom of the
Or if
screen,
it goes in, that's a 4-point play.
it's entertainment. If you watch the bottom of the screen on nationally televised games, not the cable games, at the bottom it says NBA Entertainment.
NBA entertainment.
That's what it says.
It is a form of entertainment,
It's all
but it
entertainment.
still needs some rules.
They do.
They-
They do. But those rules are in effect in the fourth quarter
Yes.
to a certain degree. And then, let's be honest, every player is refereed differently in the NBA.
Oh,
James Harden gets more calls, but the other guys are learning how to draw those similar fouls.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but that's like that in a lot of sports because to me, with that call, the calls, I know you're not, I don't know if you're a tennis person, but the calls on Serena when they, at the U.S. Open last year when she played Naomi Osaka, that was, I mean, to me, that was pretty bad. And then to kind of ridicule her and to treat her like, oh, she's some raving, woman. That was really unfair to treat her that way because he was taunting her. She was taunting.
Well, it's the business.
They were taunting each other, but to a certain extent, you do have to show respect. And, Serena at that time felt violated. So, and she said some things I feel she should not have said.
Well, she's old enough to know the business. And Osaka is the future.
Osaka is the future.
Tennis. So they might be helping get Serena out of the way, and Serena has to understand you the old dog, and you gotta do a little bit more. You can't, fall into those tricks.
Right. Okay, so if you have take for instance, like a friend of mine asked me today, okay? He's got a son that's out of college, didn't go to went to a Division I, but maybe not a top Division I school. And he's got a shoot around video, he's shooting around and stuff. What would you say that he needed to do to really stand out, though? And he can't come fly to D.C. to see you.
You mean on his own?
On his own at this point. I'm saying if he didn't get recruited, I don't want to exclude. I don't want this show to just be about people, to be about the best kid, the phenom, because I know that doesn't. It's not always that. The process is not always that quick.
No.
And I get that, and that's why I always, because I've been a mom to somebody who played pro, and we decided to send her to college, because in tennis it's all about youth and playing pro.
For sure.
And we took her off the pro tour and said, you know what, you should play because tennis is so expensive that they allow you to play pro. As long as you fulfill your collegiate responsibilities, you can play pro as well in college. So for us, it was like a no-brainer. Oh, no, she's going to college.
I didn't know that.
If you ain't number one or you don't have a deal with Nike, then who's going to keep paying for all your trips and all your fees and all the expenses that tennis, those tennis rackets alone are like $200. And how long do tennis rackets last?
Not long.
Not long. Especially if they get mad and they hit it. But I'm just saying, who's going to pay for the hotel, the flights, the tournament fees, the clothing, the food, breakfast, lunch, dinner, hotels?
Hotels.
Tennis is on the expenses are on another level. So we were like, hey, you ain't number one. You rank. She plays at the City Open. She's a top player, but you're going to NC State. And some of her friends, one of her friends won the French Open Juniors.
Wow.
Okay, these are like just her friends. They're like, all of them are like Coco Gauff. Look up Coco Gauff. She's 14. She's going to get rid of, y'all will hear her. CNN already did a story on her. Coco is her and Alana hitting partners. So Coco was right here in D.C. for a little while, but trained out of Florida. But Coco is 14. 14. She's a tennis phenom. You will hear about her. She just signed with like Adidas or New Balance, one of them. But I'm just saying, and I told even my daughter, and I know everybody said she's good enough to play pro. I know that. But the thing about it is sometimes you can't compare yourself to the 14-year-older who wins everything because they're getting certain resources
They're
that
getting help that you don't get.
they're getting help that you ain't getting right now. You understand? So although you're getting the results too, but you have to work a little harder to get those
A lot
results.
harder.
And so that doesn't mean that you cannot play pro when you're 19. They just playing at 14, but you play at 19 or whatever. So what I'm saying is I want to talk to the people who don't have the basketball phenom, the Boogie Cousins, you know what I mean? But they have all the makings of a basketball, but maybe they needed just a few more years of development. What would you say to them as parents?
Well, obviously the parents and the kid has to make a personal investment in themselves, and they've got to put a greater deal of time and sacrifice to be good. But again, the basketball world is so large. Like if you're talented, there's ways for you to be seen. There's camps and exposure camps, and I'm not talking about the ones that's totally for them making out taking your money, but
Right.
the ones where there's actual opportunity to be seen. And they all with social media, you can kind of present yourself to people. You can find anybody you want in social media, and you can send them your own messages. So I think at this time it's a great time, even if you're not that known talent, you could become a known talent.
You could
You
become
just got to be
one.
willing to advocate for yourself.
Okay.
And videos help.
And videos
Videos
help. Okay.
If you make 20 in a row, it's 20 in a row. There's no other way to look at it. You made 20 in a row. That may
Right.
make somebody come out and come check you out.
Okay, so if there's somebody that really wants to develop their kid, okay, and they believe they're like, God, they're right there. They're right there. I know you've seen those kids.
Yes.
They're right there, but maybe they're not over the edge, but they're right there. With some development, you could probably get them.
For sure. Get them
in
an
the-
opportunity.
Get them an opportunity in the NBA. I'm not saying whether they're going to, at this point, they may not even be draft potential.
Yeah, for sure.
But they might be able to get a shot.
For sure.
How would they reach you if they wanted to reach you specifically?
Well, I'm really old school. I just started Instagram
I know, but
2 years ago. But it's been extremely helpful, and I have gotten a few new clients that are pro or playing pro from Instagram. So they can reach me on Instagram at Keith Williams 1957. But I'm old school. Most people call me. My number's out there on Facebook and everywhere. So most people just reach out. Or they reach out to people that know me.
That know you. Right, okay. Because you work out of where? Where do you work out of now?
Well, now we pretty. I probably pretty much move around, but I'm at North Laurel Community Center. I'm also at the church, First Baptist of Glen Arden. They got a new gym.
Oh, they got
out
a
there.
new gym out there.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, they got
okay.
a new gym out there, and I guess it's Mitchellville.
Yes.
So I'm there a lot. Yeah.
So you're there. Okay, so that's great. So then people, listen, if you got a kid and you want them in the NBA or you want them to at least get a shot, you need to reach out to people like him, in particular Keith Williams right here. I mean, it ain't no better. Who else? Let me tell you, just go down the list of the people you've taken just recently. Take them to the list of everybody that you've gotten either drafted or in the NBA.
Well, like I said, I've been blessed to have
Markel Fultz.
Markel Fultz, DeMarcus Cousins, Kevin Durant, Ty Lawson,
Michael Beasley.
Jared Jack, Delonte West,
Lonnie
Baxter,
Yes.
Steve Francis, Stevie Franchise.
I mean, the list goes on the people that this guy has taken from one level to the next level and gotten them to the NBA, not to mention Markel Fultz. I mean, come on now. He got him to be the number one recruit. The number one draft pick.
Amen.
Ooh, wow. What was that like? Did you know he was going to be drafted that high?
We did.
You did know that?
We did. I worked with Markel the longest out of anybody I've ever worked with.
It's been Markel.
Yeah.
From
like 12 years.
What age?
7, 8 years old.
7, 8. Okay, but you didn't know at that time.
No, not at all. But
Okay.
what I did know is he was a hard worker. Mm-hmm. He always wanted to come. He always wanted to work out. He was one of the crazy kids because most of the younger kids,
Right.
when the workout was over, they wouldn't even say bye to me. They would get out of there.
No way.
And what he would do is ask his mom, maybe, Mom, could I work out with the older kids as well? And I noticed like he had a certain work ethic that the other kids didn't have. And so as he got older, I noticed that he had the ability to focus on one thing, and that one thing is he wanted to be a great basketball player. And he did everything he could. And then everybody liked him. Your nephew, Bradley.
Yes, my nephew talks about him
too.
Yes,
we had a
Bradley.
situation where we didn't have as many 17U kids. And I was talking to the older kids, and they all said, Markel was playing 15, let Markel play 17s. And it was a thought that I never had, but the biggest thing is that the older kids believed him enough and liked him enough to think, hey, put him on the team. So it was just things like that along the way to kind of let you see where he might could be.
So basically, so let's go back. So now he is 11th grade, right? When did you start seeing things are going to be changing for Markel? 11th grade? 10th grade. Okay. So talk to me about the change at that point.
Well, most kids, when they're trying to dunk, most people might try 10, 15 times. He might try 50 times.
50 times
to dunk it one time.
To dunk the ball
one time.
He couldn't dunk. It took him that many times to dunk. Or you're saying he wanted a certain kind of dunk?
No, he could not. So you got to understand.
Oh, wow.
Markel was more of a late bloomer, body-wise. He had really big feet.
Okay.
He never caught up to his feet.
Okay.
So that's what he was trying to do, catch up to his feet.
Oh,
and so, what I'm saying is the perseverance to attempt 60 dunks and you miss 59 of them just to get the 60th one to go in.
That's incredible concentration and willing and perseverance, though.
So he showed that at an early age, and I always felt like if he ever stopped being so clumsy, what could he be? Because he was competing with everybody being clumsy. He's the kid that you turn your head and you turn around, he's on the ground. Like, what happened? You're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just fell down. So kind of like once he caught up to his feet, it was
the work ethic
easy.
And the talent was there.
Yes, he's always been a good player.
He's always been a good player. Yes. Okay, so the work ethic. And then, but I hear that you guys, he was here and then he went somewhere else or something like that. Was he recruited out of another state or whatever? Was he here?
No, he's always been here.
He's always been here.
He's always been here. But he wasn't known here.
Okay.
Through the help of his mom and your sister.
Okay.
We put together the Blue Devils
Sharon.
again. Put the Blue Devils again.
Okay.
And we had a great situation. And Markel blossomed in that situation.
That's awesome.
And, you could tell, like I said, about 10th grade, you could tell like he got a chance to be special.
He got a chance to be special. Did you know at that point he was going to be the #1 draft?
I didn't know that, but I knew he could be a pro. And then as time progressed, I spent so much time with him. It's like you might don't know everything about tennis, but you know what your daughter is made of.
Yes.
You know that if she got in this situation, she's going to be okay.
Yes.
And so kind of from 11th grade on, it was kind of like every 2 months I put some type of challenge in front of him. National challenge where he had to be better than somebody else. And every 2 months he blossomed. He exceeded what I needed him to do to get to the next step. And it just after a while that became who he was,
That's exceptional.
Yeah.
Wow. So do you still currently work with him, and what is his current situation now?
Well, we don't work together. Obviously, he's in season.
Yeah.
But and right now, obviously, as you know, he's been traded.
Yeah, he's in Orlando.
Yeah, he's in Orlando. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, we'll train together this summer. But he got a lot of things that he got to deal with.
He's
with
the team. With the team. Yes, I know. Are you still kind of consult with him a little bit on this? You don't just take him to the NBA, then you're like, oh, that's okay, thank you, bye-bye.
No, he's like family.
Yeah, because you're bonded with these guys too, right?
For sure.
And they're gonna look at you like almost like a father figure, and they're gonna be bonded with you in that kind of way. They're gonna call you up and go, hey, coach, this is what's going on. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Mm-hmm. And you still have that type of relationship.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good because he needs that support. He really does. Okay, moving on to the NBA. What is the problem with the Wizards? Can we just go back? I mean, I don't know if you know people with the Wizards. You know, I've been covering the Wizards for a long
Okay, hopefully not too many people, the Wizards, watching this.
for a long time.
Okay.
What do you think is the problem with the Wizards? Why can't they ever put together a winning squad and win?
Honestly,
With all the talent on that team, not including John Wall's injury, we get that part of it. But I'm just saying, why? I mean,
I don't think they've ever had the true pieces
The
at the same time.
at the same time.
So sometimes they had the right big men, and maybe they didn't have the guards. And now they got the guards.
They
and
don't
don't
have the
right
big men.
And then ultimately, I think it should be a change
Good
at the
point.
top. It should be a change.
Change at the top.
Yes.
Do you think, okay, this is my issue, right? And I don't know if you watch the Wizards that closely.
I do.
You do? Okay. So you see what they do in the last 4 minutes of the game.
Mm-hmm.
You see the mismanagement of the clock.
Mm-hmm.
You see the unaggressiveness in the fourth quarter, which drives me bananas. You see the continuous jumpers, 3-point shots that just, for some reason, they've been shooting 50%, 51% from the three the whole game. Then all of a sudden,
when it counts. Yeah.
But then when it counts, the last 4 minutes of the game, their shooting percentage, they
Goes
can't
way
make a
down.
shot in 7 minutes. They've gone 0 for 11.
I think the biggest thing for
I
a
don't
coach,
get that.
I think for a coach in the NBA, you got to be a manager of personalities. Mm-hmm. You got a bunch of young men making a lot of money, and
Yes.
they wield the power because they make more than the coach.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you got to be careful about whom you have coaching these kids. John Wall's a good, people give him the blame. He's a good kid. I was blessed enough to be around him and Boogie in Kentucky. He's
Right.
a good kid.
Mm-hmm.
But like all of them, they need to be somebody. They need to be around somebody they can believe in, they can trust in.
Mm-hmm.
That if you tell me this is the way I should go, this is the way I'll go.
Right. And they need to be with somebody that they have a little bit of fear, a little bit of respect.
sure.
Like, yo.
Definitely, and that's all of them. The NBA, it's a funny sport, nigga. They paying real good, but those contracts look bad. The minute you don't win, those contracts look really, really bad.
Yeah, right, exactly. Because there's got to be something beyond just getting paid
For
a
sure.
lot of money for your job that is on the line at some point. When you ain't winning, you ain't producing. You know what I'm saying? And that
True.
money looks like, what? They paid you? You mean to tell me Yal Mahimi sitting on a bench making $64 million for 4 years?
Yeah.
Why is he getting all that money? He don't even sit. He don't even start. In fact, he plays garbage minutes.
That's right.
What the what?
That's how
And
the business is set up.
someone, what you doing over there, the Wizards? What were y'all looking at? Y'all weren't looking at y'all when y'all signed that contract. I mean, good grief, 169 million for someone who has been injury prone
Their whole career.
their whole career. And on top of that, you paid him so early in the game. You didn't even have to do that yet.
You could have waited.
You could have waited, but you chose to pay him 169 million because you didn't want Otto to be making more than him for
Yeah.
too long, and Beal, because Otto and Beal got their contracts, and then John Wall was due his extension. But you just could have waited. He still had another year before
Yeah.
you needed to give him an extension.
True.
But nobody wanted Wall to
Nobody didn't.
be making his 80, and Otto was making his 100, and Beal was making his 120. You know? So I mean, I'm like, wow, what are we doing over here? We're
Mismanagement for sure.
we're not managing this. I mean, I watch it all the time, you know. So I mean, I'm over there all the time. So let's go. All right. So let's talk about some predictions. All right. Who can beat the Golden State's ass? Why can't we get somebody to beat them up? Why are they so good?
I do believe. So I'm biased,
Okay.
right? Having Boogie on the team and Kevin Durant.
I know.
But I
Boogie,
do-
and let me tell you something. Boogie, whew, he fits like a glove on that team.
Oh, no question.
Oh my God, they are unstoppable. I'm like that. you know, the last two, they didn't even bring. I'm like, they don't even need Boogie though. Sometimes.
No,
Go ahead,
I do believe Milwaukee
Giannis.
could give them a run for it. I do.
Really,
I do.
you do.
I do. Because I
There
think
ain't enough though. I
Yeah,
don't
but
think,
I think-
there's enough on. I mean, the Greek Freak is great, but I'm just saying. Who
I think
else
it's the style of play. I think it's like everything else. When Detroit was winning with all the fouling, then everybody else learned how to foul.
Right,
And Chicago caught up with them.
right.
And now Golden State took off running, and now people are kind of getting
Pace and
closer.
space game.
Correct. So
Right.
I think Golden State will definitely win, but I think Milwaukee will give them a run for their money for sure.
So
It'll be interesting.
Okay, so you're saying that Milwaukee's going to win the Eastern Conference?
I do
You
believe
think they're
they
going to
will.
win?
I do.
Really? You think they're going to beat everybody? You think You think that they can beat in the end Philly?
Yes, Philly doesn't have the chemistry that they had. They kind of changed their whole team. They got like 8 new players.
Yeah, they do. They have several new players.
And chemistry,
And
is
chemistry.
going to play a part when it gets tough.
Really?
Because the playoffs going to be a lot of close games. It won't be blowouts.
It won't be blowouts. You think the Wizards can make the playoffs?
I think it's hard not to make the playoffs in the East. I think it's hard because at the bottom you gonna make it under 500.
Yeah, yeah. I think some of the new players though in the Wizards, I think they may help them go. I think they may make a run. I just don't know. They may end up in the 8th spot. We'll see.
I think they play differently. People say they play better with John Wall. I think they play different with Bradley Beal as the point guard.
With Bradley Beal. Okay. Wow. Who's better, LeBron, MJ?
Not close. MJ.
MJ.
Not even close. Not even the same
but
discussion.
Let me say, okay. But let me just
The
say
question
this.
might be: is LeBron as good as Kobe?
Really?
True.
True. Who is? Is he?
I would take Kobe.
You would say? Okay. But this is what I feel. MJ and Kobe both had who? X Factor.
Talking about Phil Jackson.
Phil Jackson. Who does LeBron have?
Now, he didn't have a Phil Jackson, but Ty Lue was a good coach.
I mean, Tylo is a good coach. I'm just saying it's unfair, I feel, sometimes to do that to LeBron because I think that the NBA has been so wonderful to MJ, so wonderful to Kobe's, that it's been kind of unfair, though, to LeBron.
Okay, but look at it
and
like
LeBron
this.
is a greater person as a result of not having some of the resources that those guys have
True,
had.
but look at it like this. When Phil first got the job with Chicago, he wasn't considered a great coach, though.
No, he built
He was
that.
the assistant.
He was the assistant.
He was the
right.
assistant. I think the difference is, and for LeBron lovers, no knock on him.
Yeah.
LeBron doesn't give those marriages a chance. The minute he doesn't like something, he's going to voice his opinion. And being as though he's the guy now, they normally move people.
Right.
Odds are Walton won't be the coach anymore. The Lakers come next year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because Magic and he are kind of running that team right now.
sure.
That's I'm sure. I don't even know if Walton wants to be in that environment. I think that environment probably will overtake him and push him out because they need somebody that's kind of, you know what I mean, like a kindred spirit with them.
We'll
I don't
see.
think Walton is a kindred
We'll see.
spirit.
I'm not sure LeBron will win another championship. We'll see.
Really?
I'm not sure.
Wow. Oh, my goodness.
miles are
I just
adding up.
think- right. The miles are adding up. But you know what, though? I am such a fan of who LeBron is as a human being that it's hard to just discount him because I think he's been such a great person off the court. And he's done so much more to me than even Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
he's been a standout. He's been a standout.
But it was a different time. See, athletes have more of a voice now than they had back then when we played. Now
Right.
I would say he's more on the social issues for sure than Michael Jordan was, but it's a different time.
Yeah. Someone also said something else to me about LeBron. Not to me. I was watching this. That's what it was. Isaiah Thomas said something the other day. He said, who are the high school coaches who developed LeBron? I mean, everybody who's a Hall of Famer was developed by a Hall of Famer coach. Who were the coaches for LeBron? Where did he come from?
Well,
That's exceptional.
yeah.
You got to give him some credit on that
No,
on that piece.
No, he's a brand guy. He's going to do things that Michael Jordan them didn't even think. But I think if he didn't have Michael Jordan as a model, he wouldn't know where to take it.
Mm-hmm. Right, right. What do you think is the secret? Do you think that Chris Paul messed up the team for Houston because he didn't want to take a pay cut? They were too close into the luxury tax. They had to let Ariza go. They couldn't afford him. And Chris Paul didn't want to take a pay cut.
That's a bad contract. I'll say that.
That's a bad
contract.
Because I think
because
that
he's
is
older.
costing
he's
Houston.
Older. And so if you don't win it this year, it's worthless. If you don't win it this year, because Chris Paul be 35, 36. He's already injury prone.
He's missed
so you'll never
20 games.
You'll never get anywhere near the worth that you paid.
Really? I feel like Chris Paul messed up. I feel like they should have.
Well, that's his last big contract. He was thinking about himself.
Okay. Wow. So, all right. So let's go. Prediction. Who's going to win the NBA final this year?
Golden State Warriors.
It's so obvious. I mean,
Golden
Boogie
State
Cousins
Warriors.
is your client.
He's my guy.
What could I mean, who else are you
But
going to say?
they're the best team. They're the best team.
They are the best team.
Now, they got to prove it. They got to prove it on the court. But if they're semi-clicking, they'll win. They'll run through it.
Okay. Question. Last question, because I think I got like 1 or 2 minutes. And then I'm going to let you give your number out or whatever, however you want people to communicate with you. Last question. Why does Durant come across like he's, I don't know, like he's just a little, not as warm. I feel like he was different on OKC than he is on Golden State. I almost feel like, he used to be like, he's really cool on OKC. Now he got with all the bullies. It's like, okay, now I can and I'm only saying this because I'm not talking about how he is on TV. I'm talking about, this is my reporter hat on.
Okay.
I'm around him. Okay. I've seen him in action. He's very rude to us. And I'm just like, what is up with his attitude? He wasn't like that at OKC.
I think it's more of a I think he's trying to find himself.
He's trying to find himself.
As a man.
Okay.
And he was really quiet.
He
really
was
docile at first.
Yes.
And now he's, a lot more loquacious. But I think he can't have it both ways. He wants to talk, but then when it backfires on him, then he don't want to talk. And it comes with the territory. If you're gonna talk, they're looking for you to be a talker all the time. So I think he's trying to find himself. The NBA is a strange situation, and it's kind of like a room full of testosterone. I think he thought when he made that shot of LeBron, people would consider him the best player, but it didn't happen that way. People still want LeBron to be that guy.
Wow. Well, some good information today.
This was good.
This was really good. I so appreciate you, Keith, blessing us with your presence. You have been.
Thank you for having me.
You have been so instrumental. Michael Beasley. I mean, all the people, all those guys in the NBA, this guy is right here. He is right here in our backyard. So if people want to reach out to you, they want to maybe try out for the go-go. They want to maybe just give it one last shot even. You work with guys like that too, right?
Yes.
Right.
There's a lot more of those guys than they are.
Than the phenoms.
The top cooker, man, as they say.
Right.
Guys.
And you work with them on a daily basis.
Yes, I'm in the gym every day.
Every day. Okay.
They can reach me at 202
Yes.
697 2512 or 410.
Wait, say it again.
202 697 2512
Okay.
or 410 499 1275.
Okay.
As well as I can be reached on Instagram at Keith Williams 1957.
Okay. Yes, you guys, please reach out if you want to try one more time for the NBA. God, go for it. You have nothing to lose. Just go for it.
Fail big. Fail big. Don't be afraid to be great.
Don't fail small.
Fail big.
Right. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. Hey, it's Alina 7. That's the hustle today. Yes. Coach Keith Williams right here, live and in person. I mean, that's wonderful. So, hey, you guys, don't forget, reach out, look out, watch out, do whatever you need to do to watch me on your phone, on your laptop, wherever. The Hustle, each and every Tuesday, 6 p.m. right here from WLVS Studio, right across from Howard University. Yes, next week, Michael Brown. You know who he is, okay? Former council member, DC council member. He got in a little bit of trouble, had to go away for a little bit, but he is back and bigger and better. And he's got a lot to talk about. Last Tuesday of every month, he's going to be here and he's going to be dealing with race to 2020. Okay, race to 2020. You know what that's about? Our election. Okay, so he's going to be doing voter registration drives, all kinds of stuff. But he's going to be here talking about his comeback next week, next Tuesday. So look out for Michael Brown. Hey, it's your girl Lena 7. I'll see you guys next week. Later. Bye bye.